Suge want to put that song on the gang-related soundtrack. They want to pay you 10 grand. So that's my money back already that I done already invested. I'm like, bet, I'll do that. And so 2 days later, he called me back and said, Suge said, forget that. He want to fly you out. He just want to sign you. He don't want to do it. He want to go ahead and sign you. So...
I wanted to hear your journey, man.
Man.
How did you get into entertainment, music, like all of that?
Well, my story's a country boy story. I was a two-sport All-American in track and football out of Arlington, Sam Houston.
Okay.
Went to Oklahoma State on a football scholarship, Division I, big time. So I was kind of impatient, and I left. At that time, you had to do 3 years. You couldn't leave after your sophomore year, your junior year. Wasn't no transfer portal, wasn't no NIL, none of the great stuff that they got for William and them. And so I ended up being hot-headed and left early, and I went to CFL. And while I was in the CFL, like I said, the era we came up in, freestyling, rapping all the time with your friends, rapping over beats. So that kind of made me feel like being at home when I was in Ottawa in Canada. And so my roommates, I think if I'd have stayed here in Texas, I probably never would have actually pursued it because all my friends knew me. William Green, 4'2", 10'16", football player, running back. I wasn't one of them kids that dreamed about rapping all the time and thought about it, but I was always competitive. Whatever we was doing, if I'm doing, I'm always try to be the best and try to win at it. And so when I was in Canada, I was freestyling. My roommates, they were in a band called Boy Wonder. And they was like, man, you need to get in the studio. And you sound just like them guys on the radio, your voice and this and that. And I was like, I don't know. And then I went to the studio and I recorded my first song. And when I heard myself, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. And it was kind of where I had to make a decision back then because it was football and music. And it was like I was recording and it was time for football practice. I really didn't want to go. I wanted to stay in the studio. And I knew that's when I was like, man, I done caught that bug, and I love this. And from there, I ended up leaving. I had another year left on my contract. I came back here, and I was like, I don't think I want to go back to Canada. You know what I'm saying? First of all, it's the CFL, not down that, but they don't really run the ball. It's only 3 downs. Me being a running back, they only got 3 downs, so they throw. And I'm used to sitting 7 yards deep and coming downhill, putting 200 pounds on you again and again and again until you break. And at that point in time, I was like, you know what? I done caught this bug. I really want to try this music thing. And my father, everything with us is legacy. My daddy's William Green Sr. I'm William Jr. That's where he get his name, Dub G. Dub is for W. G is the green. And 3, he's a third. So that's what Dub G3 is. We are very prideful, very we love who we are. We're proud of who we are and what we stand for, being country boys. And so at that point, I was like, you know what? I want to try to pursue this music thing. So I went out to California.
How long did you pursue it in Canada?
I only did a couple years.
Okay, like 2 years?
I did 2 years.
Okay.
Well, I did my first year, and it was time for the second year, and I had started doing music, and I was like, I had 3 years on my deal, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm just pursue this music thing.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I had I left there, and I went to California, because at that point back then it was the East Coast and the West Coast. Really, the South wasn't really. In the early 90s, that was 96, 97. And I was like, man, I really don't like the cold, so I'm going to go to California. So I went to California, and when I went out there, I believe God has people on destinies and paths because the way my journey was, where I went out there and the people that I had a relationship with, they had a office right next to Loud Records. So Loud had Big Pun. They had at that time Exhibit, Wu-Tang. So I'm up there in the office with them doing stuff that I was doing with an agency. It was modeling agency, doing some modeling stuff, work, acting, doing some extra stuff. And right next door was Loud Records. And I would see.
Is Loud Records, is that in Santa Monica? Or
It was Santa Monica, but it was close to Santa Monica, but it's off Santa Monica. The office was off Santa Monica Street.
Okay.
And so the agency was upstairs. This side was the agency. The agency, they did book like modeling and extras and TV stuff. So that's how I got out.
Okay.
God introduced me to the guy there. And next door was Loud Records. So I'm up on the roof and I would see Exhibit and these other ones. I was like, man. So I met a guy named Lance who actually was an A&R who gave me some tickets. And I ended up meeting Danny Boy, who had I Ain't Mad at You with Tupac at the time.
Yeah.
So I met him. I was like, man, I'm out here from Dallas. I'm trying to get in this music industry. Won't nobody give me a chance. He said, I know what you're talking about. Suge, look out for me. Here's my number. So I called him, and it's just so funny. I called him, and he was at the studio. He said, man, I'm at the studio. Come on through. So when I got there, a producer by the name of Reggie Moore was there. And Reggie had done Toss It Up for Tupac, What About Us for Jodeci, Slip and Slide for Danny Boy. All these were big hits. And he's Gerald Levert's cousin.
Yeah.
So he's very well connected. So I go in there, I got my overalls on. I got all my clippings, my highlights. I'm trying to show him I'm somebody. I just say no. I know I ain't done music yet, but everything I've done, I was an All-American in football. I played pro. And so if you know Reggie, he's real smooth. He's real cool. He's like, all right, I get you, youngster. I get you. I was like, man, just give me a chance. Just do one song on me. If you just do one song and you don't like it, I won't never bother you again. He said, all right. So he gave me his number, and I sit there at the session, and I finished watching Danny Boy. Candles lit up, the music is playing. I'm like, man, I want this in my life. I can see myself doing this, right? So at that point, I left the studio, but I got this golden ticket. I got Reggie Moore's number. So the next day I called Reggie.
Like the Temptations.
Oh, I'm going to call. So I called him. I was like, hey, you remember me last? He said, yeah, I remember you, but I'm busy. I got Snoop at the studio. Because at that time he was on Deathrow Records, producing for Deathrow. So he was like, hey, I'm busy. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. So I called him the next day. I called this man every day for 30 days. He started laughing. He answered that phone on that 30th day, and he was like, you going to call me every day, ain't you? I was like, I don't know nobody else. You the only person I know in order to get in the game. And he was like, man, I know what that's like. Man, come on out to the house. So I went out to the house, and then from there, it was another just 30 days of just being with him. I'm thinking I'm going to immediately get to recording and immediately get to home. I got to go to the studio with him, sit in there, be the flunky. Hey, go get some this. This is what they need. Go get that. And he would tell me when he'd take me in these big sessions with these big artists, he was like, look, don't say nothing because they're going to put you out. I'm telling you now. Don't, because you hearing them and you want so bad to say, I can rap. I can, let me. Don't say nothing. So I'm just sitting there, man. So finally, about a month later, he come to me and he give me a CD. He was like, look, Deathrow, they pay me $15,000 a track, but I'll do your demo all four for $15,000. And I was like, oh my God, this is a blessing. So by me already playing football, I had the money.
You had okay, I'm about to say, dang, that's a blessing, but I ain't got the bread.
Yeah. So I had the bread. So I gave him the bread, and we do my first song, and it was crazy because I didn't even get to finish the four before I even got my deal with Deathrow. So I had the four songs ready. They was ready to be. They had picked the beats and all that. He took me to go see the soundtrack. We went to go see the Gang Related movie,
okay.
and Deathrow had the soundtrack. They was doing the soundtrack to that. So he was like, "Look, Junior, I got an opportunity for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take you go see this movie. If you write something and they like it, you know what I'm saying, you might be able to get no problem." That's one thing I like about Reggie, and I try to tell these kids today, like, he never promised me nothing. He never said, I promise you this, if you do this. He never, all he said was, I can give you opportunity. And so he took me to the movies. I seen the movie. I went and I wrote something instantly that night. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So I wrote it out. And it was funny because we did the song. And when we did the song, I put my heart into it. And I come back the next day and he was like, Junior, I don't know where it's at. It's gone. It ain't in the machine no more. And I was like, what exactly? I was like, what? He was like, I got a new machine. I'm learning how to work it, but the song is gone. I was like, I'll do it again then. Do it again. So I went in there and did it again. I'm feeling all good. We banging to it. He feeling like it's right. He come back the next day. God is my witness. He was like, you ain't gonna believe this, Junior. And he called me Junior because I'm William Green Jr. He said, hey, family. He said, Junior, you ain't gonna believe me. It's gone again.
What?
Twice.
What?
Twice in a row. And I was like, what? Something's just getting ready to happen.
Yeah.
And something's blocking this song from being put out. So I did it again. The third time I did it, I was even more intense because I was like, no, I'm coming out. Something, I don't know what it is, but I'm coming out. So I do the song, and then Reg is the type, if you know what A&Rs are, y'all, that's artist representatives. Labels have them. They come by and try to find new talent, new music. So Reg is real smooth. He ain't the type that go to A&R and say, hey, listen to this or listen to this. They come to him. And then what he do is just put on his music, and if they react to it, then he'll say, but other than that, he ain't going to say, hey, listen to this. So he had put my record on. I wasn't even there. I find out this from them. So Reggie put it on. He filing his nails. He real smooth, dude. he doing his nails. And dude say, who is that? He said, what you talking about? That what you playing? He was like, that's Junior. Choc B from Dallas. He said, you talking about the one that be with you all the time? He said, yeah. He said, ain't he from the South? He was like, yeah, he's from Texas. He was like, you know, Suge looking for some artists from the South right now. You gotta take that to Suge. He's like, all right. So Reggie finished, and you know what I'm saying? So he said after that, Mr. Lay called him, was like, hey, I heard you got something over here that you ain't telling us. He said, yeah. She's like, Junior, the one to be? He said, yeah, the one to be with me. So he took it to her, and from there, things just accelerated it. She heard it, liked it, and granted, we ain't even finished the other songs yet.
Yeah.
We ain't even got, I'm trying to get to that, so I want to try to get this deal. So Reggie finished that. He take it to Miss Chalet. By that time, I'm on my way back to Texas. My dad come out. We on our way back to Texas. By the time I get back to Texas, Reg calls me and he says, hey, Suge want to put that song on the Gang Related soundtrack. They want to pay you $10,000. So that's my money back already that I done already invested. I'm like, man, I'll do that. And so 2 days later, he called me back and said, Suge said, forget that. He want to fly you out. He just want to sign you. He don't want to do it. He want to go ahead and sign you. So from there.
So let me slow you down a little bit. Yeah. What is the time frame between
leaving?
No. Before you landing into landing back in California.
7 months. I got there in February of '97, and I signed in December of '97 with Deathrow Records.
God.